Chicago's Inspector General for Public Safety is out with a report critical of technology the Chicago Police Department spends millions of dollars on every year to combat gun violence. Amanda Vinicky joins us now with more. Amanda, what's the latest?
Yes, Paris, the CPD in December actually renewed a contract worth $33 million to keep using ShotSpotter for a couple of years from now, August of 2023. This is technology that uses sensors that are strategically placed around the city and especially in high crime areas to detect the sound of gunshots. The company also relies on data and an algorithm to triangulate where those shots were fired. Then the Chicago Police Department is notified so officers can head to that precise location. The new report from the Inspector General's office reaches a stark conclusion. Only rarely does ShotSpotter actually lead police to recover evidence from a gun crime. A large percentage of ShotSpotter alerts cannot be connected to any verifiable shooting incident, the report concludes. The city's Deputy Inspector General for Public Safety, DEBORAH WITZBURG, says the point of this report was not to make specific recommendations about ShotSpotter.
And we certainly don't conclude that there is no value to the use of ShotSpotter. What we are hoping with this analysis to do is to prompt a sort of sober, well-informed weighing of the costs and benefits attached to this technology. I think ShotSpotter is like lots of other law enforcement tools in that it should be subject to that sort of cost-benefit assessment where we make sure that the value of using a tool outweighs its drawbacks.
ShotSpotter clearly has costs, she says. Dollar-wise, it's expensive, that contract worth over $30 million. And then there are the costs you can't easily put a dollar figure on, like community concerns.
There are safety risks for police department members. A ShotSpotter alert response is a situation which is sort of fast-paced and high stakes, and a situation into which members of the police department are going with very little information about context and what to expect once they get there.
ShotSpotter issued a statement in response to this report saying that it works with its customers, and by the way, Chicago, its biggest customer, in order to maximize the value of this technology. Also, the OIG report does not negatively reflect on ShotSpotter's accuracy, which has been independently audited at 97% based on feedback from more than 120 customers, ShotSpotter said in that statement. Nor does the OIG propose that ShotSpotter alerts are not indicative of actual gunfire, whether or not physical evidence is recovered. Now, WITZBURG says their ShotSpotter is talking about technical accuracy, say that it is accurately identifying the sound of gunshots versus fireworks. She says this report isn't getting into that technical accuracy. She says what it is weighing is the question of whether it is valuable even if it works accurately all of the time. ARTINESE MYRICK with Live Free Illinois says the answer to that is no.
We do need answers. We do need some type of remedy for gun violence. However, ShotSpotter isn't it. ShotSpotter has shown us time and time again, it's just sending officers on dead-end chases, on high alerts into our neighborhoods, and they're not recovering anything. And so I think this is a large investment to not have much, much of a result that is truly helping to save lives.
To that end, she says that there are much better ways that Chicago taxpayer money could be used to combat violence and save lives.
We do not need to rely on old, broken police strategies that we know don't work, right? Instead, we would rather invest it straight into the community, into grassroots organizations who are already providing crime and violence interruption work. We think that it should go towards trauma-based services, hospital-based services, wraparound services, so that families are getting what they need.
Now, CPD says that ShotSpotter is crucial to its work and that it allows officers to go to a precise location quickly after a shooting. ShotSpotter has detected hundreds of shootings that would have otherwise gone unreported. ShotSpotter is among a host of tools used by the Chicago Police Department to keep the public safe and ultimately save lives, CPD says in that statement. Now, Jose Almanza says he doesn't want to live in a neighborhood where there is a lot of gun violence Nobody does. But he says this tool does not work. Instead, he says it brings officers armed and ready for confrontations with people who look like him.
So all they're doing is just threatening, harassing, and violently harassing people like myself and other, Black and brown people in the neighborhood. So even if it was working, no, I wouldn't want this type of technology in my community.
Now, another reason that the CPD says that ShotSpotter is important is because they say it allows law enforcement to quickly help to find victims, identify witnesses, and to collect forensic evidence after shootings when a lot of gunshots are never called in to 911. The system gives police the opportunity to reassure communities that law enforcement is there to serve and protect them, and helps to build bridges with residents who wish to remain anonymous, the CPD says in its statement. Now, I asked Amanza to respond to CPD's defense.
So let's try to fix that problem. Why is it that people are not reporting these incidents, and they're just trying to, lock the community out and use technology to kind of just reinforce what they've been doing, and it's just harassing Black and brown people in Black and brown communities.
This is not the only study to question the efficacy of ShotSpotter. Deputy Inspector General WITZBURG says it is notable that, therefore, this analysis is not an outlier. But this new report did touch on something else, that ShotSpotter can influence police behavior, that they behave differently, not just if there is a specific ShotSpotter ping, but even when police are sent to an area where they often get ShotSpotter alerts. And that, she says, is significant and worth further study. Now, you can get a link to this Inspector General's report and more on our website. One quick note, we did reach out to ShotSpotter and the CPD for interviews. We got the statements that we used in this story and said. With that, Paris, back to you.
All right, a lot to digest there, Amanda. Thank you so much.